as we've been tracking the storm moving northward. Earlier on, we were showing you just south of Beaver. Now we're going further north along I-15. This is in Scipio, that line of thunderstorms, again, marching further northward. They're producing some heavy rain, gusty winds as well. We've been seeing wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. As these thunderstorms will be in effect moving through central Utah, Juab County. Looks like it's going to clip Utah County and then start moving northeast over the mountains, over and then over towards southwest Wyoming. So looks like here along the Wasatch Front, we should be good to go here. Now we're going to see some clouds, maybe an isolated shower, but again, the thunderstorm activity, the heavy rain, doesn't look like we'll see much of that here for the rest of the evening. Temperatures in Salt Lake City at this hour, 74 degrees, winds out of the south. Yeah, the flow out of the south right now. Earlier on, of course, we had that easterly flow producing those downslope winds here across extreme northern Utah through Weber and Davis County. Wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. I got a report from Dustin at Cherry Peak, had a report of 72 mile per hour wind gusts earlier on this morning. That's not an issue. Of all those wind warnings that were in effect, definitely expired here this morning. Now, turning our attention back to the flooding. We had flash flooding, but let's talk about from the spring runoff. River flooding, that we still have that flood warning in effect for Sevier River up until Monday 11 a.m. Now this is going to be extended, and I'll show you why, because we're warming things up, which means we're just going to only elevate the concern level. Again, Ogden River, this has been in focus here over the past several days, and again we still have flood watches in effect across portions of Cache Valley. Now looking at Ogden River specifically, we've been above flood stage here over the past week. Now as we're going to warm things up, we're going to be threatening where we could see more moderate flooding. That means, yeah, flowing over and impacting more areas. And so that's a focus there for Ogden River. Let me show you now looking at Sevier River, so turning towards southern Utah, where temperatures across southern Utah, we're going to be looking at temperatures into the 80s and 70s. I didn't change the name on that. My apologies. It should say Sevier River. You can see it moves to above moderate flooding as we look towards about Wednesday. So that's going to see a change there, both across southern and northern Utah. Let's get you though here for the afternoon into the evening. Again, more widespread showers and thunderstorms impacting near Richfield up towards Salina. We've been seeing it push through Bryce Canyon and then tracking as you take a look, moving through Beaver County, Miller County, then pushing towards Juab County. That's going to be the situation here. We're also looking towards southeastern Utah. A good chance of seeing some showers, Blanding near Lake Powell, Canyonlands, Moab through Arches over towards Grand Junction. Again, as we're seeing that activity now moving through Juab County, will be impacting areas such as Tooele, spilling over towards the west side of Utah counties. As I mentioned, Saratoga Springs, Eagle Mountain, potentially Bluffdale, and then it starts to track towards the northeast. Again, it looks like it'll mainly, if it does impact the Salt Lake Valley, it'll be towards the south end and then moving towards areas such as Bluffdale into Draper and Sandy, and then tracking over towards Park City and then into Camas. Now let's take a look. Moving ahead, you can see that track of thunderstorms. Again, it makes more of a northeast direction change and then southwest Wyoming. So potentially we could see areas such as Colville up through Evanston getting into the mix. And then that final push where overnight we kind of get a break here. And then tomorrow, as we have some lingering moisture in place, is mainly central towards eastern Utah that we see that chance of a few isolated showers, and then we really clear out. And then we start warming up looking ahead. But for tonight, we'll keep that threat going with showers through portions of the southern end of the Wasatch Front, central and northeastern Utah towards Evanston as well. Tomorrow, I mentioned central eastern Utah. That's the best threat of seeing those showers. We still have a possibility maybe seeing a little bit of flash flooding towards some of the national parks. Now, for southern Utah, it's 90s, it's dry, a few clouds here and there, maybe an isolated shower on Sunday. All in all, though, we are keeping it toasty in St. George. Northern Utah, we're bringing back the 80s and staying there. This is why we have more of a concern with the flooding, especially as we have a couple more days. We get into Wednesday and we stay in the 80s with not a lot of rain. We get a lot of sunshine and even mid 80s by Sunday. So that's going to be the situation for the flooding and warm temperatures on tap.